is just a vlog, kind of a ranty one, not like a full-blown rant, but more just, I'm frustrated with this situation because it happens over and over and over and over and over again, every so many months, just seems to be the way with me. Don't really know why, it just seems to happen over and over and over again. I'm curious if this happens to anybody else, or I'm just a freak, I don't really know, but my sleep cycles are so fucked. Like, oh my gosh. I know that I have seasonal affective disorder and all, but it's not just wintertime that this happens. I had this happen towards the beginning of the summer as well this year, but like every so many months, my sleep cycles will get thrown all out of whack, but not all at once. And it's not the same thing as insomnia, because oh, I sleep, but let me try and explain it. I'll fall asleep earlier and earlier. Like, I already fall asleep ridiculously early by most people's standards, but like during the summer when it stays light out till like 9 o'clock, I can generally stay up till, I don't know, 9 or 10 on a good night. I know, like I said, I generally fall asleep stupidly early most of the time. Every once in a while there's a random rare night where I'm awake late, but not too often does that happen. Then I woke up around, I don't know, gosh, I think 5 or 6-ish, somewhere in there, on a sleeping in day. And then it would creep back to like 4 in the morning, I'd start waking up. And not too long after that, I started falling asleep at 8 o'clock at night. And then not long after that, I started waking up at 3 in the morning. Not long after that, I started falling asleep at 7 at night and waking up at 2 in the morning. Guess where I'm at again? The 7 and 2 o'clock one. Now if you do the math, if I fall asleep at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 7 hours of sleep. That's almost a full night's sleep. I mean, that's 1 hour shy. For me, that's as close to a full night's sleep as I ever get. So, I mean, for me, that's normal. But, yeah. It gets all thrown out of whack. It'll probably get a little bit worse before it resets itself. Because sometimes, not every time, sometimes this is the extreme it hits before it resets itself. But sometimes it does get to where I'll start crashing at 6 o'clock and wake up at 1. Do you have any idea how frustrating that is? Dinner is not even ready by 6 o'clock usually. So, the hell? And there seems to be no rhyme or reason to the part of the year that it happens, and it's not a consistent number of months between each time it happens. Like, I thought originally that maybe it's like every 6 months this goes on, but when I thought about it, I was like, no, it has not been 6 months since the last time this happened, because it happened this summer, so that was like 3 months ago. At best, maybe 4. Yeah, so, well, no, we're in December. Maybe it was, I take it back. If it's December and early summer would be, oh yeah, May or June. Yeah, I guess that is 6 months ago. I take it back. Alright, fine. So once every 6 months or so, give or take a little bit, 'cause sometimes it happens a little earlier in the year, a little later in the year. But generally it happens about twice a year. If I'm really unlucky, it happens 3 times, but usually it's just 2. Don't know what causes it. Don't really know how to fix it either. Because it eventually sorts itself out. It eventually hits a point where all of a sudden it's like, this is just the norm now, and one day I go to bed at that same stupidly early time, and I'll just have a super massive sleep in till 7 in the morning night. For no rhyme or reason there either, and then it's like it reset itself. Like I said, I don't know why it happens. I don't know how it happens. I've not noticed any other further pattern, like, am I stressed out leading up to this happening? I've not really pieced together any other solid things that happen every single time with this, and I haven't really ever heard of this being a thing for anybody else either, so I'm just like, okay. And I've tried the whole thing of trying to force myself to stay awake later, to try to force it back the other way, which only works for about a night. Then, no matter how hard I try the next night, I can't do it. I just cannot stay awake. No, I am not on sleeping pills. I had somebody ask me that earlier this year, and no. First of all, I can't take them because of my heart. That would be unsafe. And second of all, no, I'm not that brave. So, no. Nor am I willing to try them either for aforementioned reasons. But yeah, it's not the same thing as insomnia because I'm sleeping, it's just not in the correct hours. And like I said, during the winter part of the year, I guess in a way it kind of makes sense because it gets dark really early. That would make sense. But it doesn't always happen right with, like, the time change, the daylight savings time. It doesn't always align with that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. More interestingly, this only started happening once I hit my 20s. And it wasn't like I turned 20 and it magically started happening. It actually started happening the year we moved into this house. Why? I don't know. Especially given that this house is literally on the same piece of land as our old house. So what the hell? I don't know. But the amount of light in the room seems to make zero difference. Factors like caffeine intake or going without caffeine make zero difference. Actually, I'm the weirdo that if I drink caffeine at night, I will almost immediately fall asleep. So I don't know what the hell that's about. Like, if I drink it in the morning, it'll wake me up. If I drink it at night, it'll put me out. Go figure. I have no idea what the hell that's about. It doesn't matter if I've eaten, if I've not eaten, or what I've eaten. Makes no difference. Doesn't matter if I'm trying to do something and keep myself busy, or if I'm just chill. Same exact results every time. Until eventually it hits the reset point and I'm on a more normal, or at least normal for me, schedule anyway. It's very weird, I know that, but yeah, like I said, there's no real explanation as far as I can tell. I even asked a doctor about this once. They were like, oh, that's odd. I don't really know why that would happen, but it always seems to sort itself out, and it doesn't take much longer than a month for it to happen whenever this happens for you, and you are still sleeping a good number of hours every night, so as long as it doesn't turn into insomnia, I'm not too worried about it. And I'm like, well, great. So they don't really know either. Awesome. It's very frustrating. I've tried the whole, melanin or melatonin? The one that helps regulate sleep. Also made no difference whatsoever. So basically, I'm kind of at a loss. It just is one of those things that I always have to wait it out until it fixes itself. I guess I should be lucky that it's a thing that just goes ahead and rights itself after about a month or two of it going on. About the longest it goes on at a time is 2 months, but usually it's more like 1.5, somewhere in there. It's already been going on for 1 this time around, so I'm figuring probably pretty soon it'll fix itself. I'm just like, this is very frustrating. Especially because I have shit that needs to get done, and there's already not enough light hours in the day to do them. Falling asleep stupidly early is not helping. So yeah. I'm just frustrated at why does this keep happening? If I knew why, or if I knew a way of instantly fixing it, or just anything, that'd be great. Because it's not even an issue of not being able to fall asleep. No, I fall asleep way too easily at the wrong time. It's kind of like that whole thing, you throw a blanket over a bird, they fall asleep. It's kind of like that with the dark. Although, even with all lights on in here, even throwing in additional lights, yeah, that doesn't make any bit of difference to me. Still happens. I can have all of them blaringly bright, I will sleep through the night, and it does not help. So I was like, okay. Well. Then again, I've always slept with lights on, so that's no biggie to me. But no, it's just like, what the hell? I don't get it. And why did it only start happening the year we moved into this house? Because the year we moved in, it actually did align with the changing of the clocks for daylight savings time. And it just never 100% fixed itself. It's always just been a thing ever since then that, okay, I fall asleep earlier than I used to, and I fall asleep way easier than I used to, and every so many months this is a thing. Okay. Very odd. I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, it doesn't seem like a dangerous thing, so I mean, I'm not worried about it or anything like that. It's more just annoying, because it's like, oh my gosh, I can't really plan to do much of anything at night, ever, when this sort of thing's going on, because most things happen beyond the hours I'd be awake. Awesome. Most people work during the day. The only time they have off to hang out is during hours that my body decides, hey, I'm gonna be asleep. By the time you're awake, they're gonna be asleep. Awesome! It sucks. I mean, it could be worse. I could be an insomniac. That would be worse, and I have had periods of insomnia before, but luckily this is not one of them. But it's still really, really frustrating. I guess the flip side, of course, is that during these periods when I wake up ridiculously early, I do have a number of hours to myself where nobody else is awake and it's just peaceful and quiet and nobody's gonna bother me and it's wonderful. I can't complain with that part of it. I do like that. But the flip side to that flip side is that there's only so many things you can do during those hours that won't wake everybody else in the house up. So there's also that. Like, for instance, I can't really film because I would wake up other people in the house. Once my sister moves away again in a couple months, then, no, if it ends up being in a couple months, I've been hearing that since September, then I'd probably be able to get away with it, but it's because the room she and her husband and their baby are staying in is the room right below mine, and there is zero sound insulation in the floor, so anything like me talking would keep them awake. Same thing with, like, if I were to stay up late on the phone, that also keeps them awake, and I have gotten in trouble for that before, so, yeah. So I can't really do that. Can only watch TV either with headphones on or very quietly, which, depending what it is, kinda sucks, because a lot of programs, you know that whole thing where you have to turn it up to hear the talking, but then you have to turn it back down because all the sound effects are really loud? Yeah, I'm finding that to be a more and more common thing with modern TV shows, and it's really annoying, because those are ones that I can't watch unless I feel like putting on headphones during those hours. So there is that out. Basically same issue with music. I mean, I like to listen to it loud. I can't really do that when people are asleep unless the headphones go on, and even then I can only stand to wear headphones for so long before it's like, oh my god. So that's out. I mean, I can work on, like, my craft stuff quietly, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm probably gonna be doing this all day anyway, so can't I do something else during these hours that would take advantage of just the quiet time when nobody's gonna bother me? Like, read? I mean, I've got a Kindle, so that's at least an option now, because I figured out the light settings that, hey, I can turn the brightness up and I can actually read early in the morning and it's not obnoxious. Awesome! So that's at least one thing I can do during those ridiculously early hours. If the mood strikes, I could write or draw, although drawing has not generally happened during those hours during the streak of it. Very minimal amounts of writing have happened, so that hasn't really been a thing. Wish it were, but hasn't been. Yeah, and it's like, even to, like, go make some tea or something, I'd have to go downstairs and use the microwave, and then I'd wake up my dad. So, yeah, that's a lose-lose situation there, because if I wake him up, then it's like, you're in incurring the wrath of God practically, so it's like, yeah, I'd rather not do that. Beyond 4 a.m., it's okay. He doesn't care beyond that point because I don't know why, but before that, it's a no-go. I have to stay in here and just be quiet. So, no, he does not get up at 4 a.m., but for some reason he doesn't care if he hears microwave sounds from that point onward. I don't get it either. It's weird. So yeah, there's that. And there's that whole thing of you wake up, you kind of want to like eat or drink something, and there's that whole problem of I can't go get anything to eat or drink for X amount of hours because it'll wake people up. Awesome. So that's frustrating too with it. It's just like, yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, generally, yeah, sure, I'm in my room most of the time. Most of the time that does not bother me. But feeling like I cannot leave the room for any given reason at any given time. Funny thing, the second that I feel like I can't leave the room, there's nothing I want to do more than leave the room. Just because I know I can't. The whole rest of the day, I could stay in here happy as a clam, door shut, do not even care. But the second you tell me, yeah, you have to stay in there, then my brain's like, no, I don't want to stay in here. I want to go out and do something. I don't care what, just anything that's not in this room. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be awake during hours when nobody else is, because it's super limited in what you can even do. I mean, yeah, I can dick around on the computer, but again, I do that all day, every day anyway, so that's nothing special for the early morning hours. I mean, a lot of times that'll be the hours I'll go and just Instagram spam the shit out of people with likes and comments because it's one of the quiet things I can do. So there's that. I mean, sometimes I'll actually get up and play video games, but that too, because of the sound thing, I have to be really careful with it, because not only do I have to worry about the volume of the TV, I have to worry about potential sound with the controllers, and making sure I don't go all video game Tourette's out of frustration and start swearing at the TV or something and wake everybody up with that. Yes, this is a thing that has happened before. Moral of the story, I should not ever play Need for Speed or Mario Kart or any sort of racing game in the early morning hours, because I apparently cannot be trusted to not do that. Only racing games do that to me. Only once, but... yeah, anyway. Yeah. So that's also limiting there. I mean, there's iPod games, but you can only play so many of those before it's like, okay, I'm bored now. So, I mean, like I said, thankfully these streaks only go on for a month, maybe 2 at a time. But when they're going on, it's super frustrating, especially when I hit the point where it's like, okay, I can tell the streak must be about to break, because I'm down to the 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. waking up part of this. This can only go on for so much longer before it hits reset point. So, but that's when there's the most maximum hours between waking up and being able to do things like a normal human being because other people are awake. At the very start of it, when it's only like an hour earlier than I'd normally get up, okay, that's not so bad. Or 2 hours earlier than I normally get up, that's still okay. The further back it goes, the more annoying it gets, understandably. And I have tried every different thing to try and make myself go back to sleep, but no, once I'm up, I am up. That's just it. There is no going back to sleep. I'm also one of those people who physically cannot nap unless I am hellaciously sick, so there's that. Once I've gotten enough hours of sleep, my mind's like, yeah, no, you're not going back to sleep, you're staying up now. Because trust me, if it were as easy as, I'll just go back to sleep for a few hours, don't you think I would do that? I would love to be able to do that, but it's not as simple as that, so... yeah, not really an option when your brain won't cooperate with that. Like I said, on the plus side, I must be nearing the reset point again with it, so that's good at least. I just would like to know if I'm the only person that has this weird-ass issue, or if other people deal with this. is there a name for this? I would actually really love to know if there is a name for this and if there actually is a way of hitting like that reset point faster. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I've not ever succeeded in finding anything online. I've tried searching. I've never really turned up anything that sounds like this particularly. I found other things that include it, but there's a bunch of other things that definitely don't apply to me, so I don't think it's that. But yeah, I've never really found one to date that just includes this, and this seems to be it. So I was like, huh, okay. Like I said, it's not a worrisome thing to me, it's just an annoying thing to me. I'm like, oh, why does it have to be a thing? Anyway, yeah, I am babbling. Can't even blame it on being sleep deprived, because I'm not. I'm getting the full number of hours of sleep, just not in the correct hours that they should be happening. But anyway, yeah, so I think I'm done ranting now. So if you made it this far into the video, good for you, because I don't think I'd bother listening to me ramble about this shit for this long. So gold star for you if you listened to all of it. Not really sure why I sat through it, but again, good for you, and thank you for listening to me ramble and rant about something that probably doesn't even affect anybody else. It's just me and my weird freaking hardwired system that malfunctions.